The Three Pandits. Once upon a time in the kingdom of Suryanagar, there were three great Pandits named Devdas, Haridas and Ramdas, who were willing to become gurus to King Priyadarshan's three princes. But only one of them could take the place of the royal guru. So King Priyadarshan called upon all of them for a test. Upon receiving King's invitation, all three Pandits set out on their journey to the palace. By noon, they reached a forest and all three were starving. A rich landlord had come for hunting in the forest and was resting in his camp during lunch hours. Just as he was about to begin eating his food, he saw three Pandits passing by. He stopped and invited all of them to his camp for lunch. The Pandits were relieved to have found some food and accepted his invitation. At that moment, the cook came up to the landlord and told him that the food from the kitchen tent was stolen and the food in his plate was the only food left. The landlord could not bear saying no to three hungry Pandits after having invited them. He took 3 plates and distributed the food from his plate into 3 portions and gave to the Pandits. Ramdas angrily shoved away the plate, yelling at the landlord that he disrespected a Pandit by giving him food from his plate. Haridas accepted his plate of food as he was very hungry. Now Devdas further divided the food from his plate into 2 portions, giving one half back to the landlord so he could eat something too, while accepting the other half with gratitude. After lunch, the landlord offered his tent to Pandits to rest for a while. After relaxing for some time in his tent, when the Pandits decided to proceed with their journey, the landlord came to them for their blessings. Ramdas snapped at him, saying that this was the least he could do after not being able to give them proper food. Haridas blessed him with Yashasvi Bhava, which means may you get eternal success and fame. However, Devdas folded his hands with humility and bowed in front of the landlord to thank him for his warm welcome. Then the 3 Pandits left the camp and proceeded with their journey. By evening, the Pandits reached the gates of the kingdom where they were welcomed and then taken to the royal guest chambers to rest for the night. Next morning, they appeared in the king's court. As the 3 Pandits took their seats, the guards entered the court with a scruffy man looking very scared and a good-looking man with decent clothes. He was the same landlord who had offered the Pandits lunch on their way. The scruffy man was the one who stole food from the landlord's camp. The king pointed at the scruffy man and addressed the Pandits. "This man stole food from the landlord's camp. I request each one of you to teach one of my sons the best judgment according to you in this case." Each of the 3 Pandits took one of the 3 princes to their chambers and came back after a while. Ramdas's pupil was asked to come forward first and give his judgment. He said, "Father, I believe that the man should not be given food for 2 days, as he used illegal means to get food. A harsh punishment will make him learn to never steal again." Next, Haridas's pupil was asked to step forward. He said, "Father, I believe that the man should be given some food. He was clearly hungry and had no food, because of which he had to steal. We must show kindness and give him some food if he promises to never steal again." Now it was Devdas's pupil's turn. He came forward and said, "Father, I would suggest you to employ him in the royal palace." King Priyadarshan smiled and asked, "Why, son? This is not a punishment. He did a felony. Why do you want to reward him instead of punishing him?" "Well," the prince continued, "his ideal punishment would be to make him work hard and earn a living for himself and his family. Depriving him of more food will further provoke him, and he will continue to steal or might even resort to worse crimes because hunger will never go away. Giving him food once will not stop him from stealing food again, because at some point the food will run out but the hunger will stay. Therefore, making him work hard to earn a good living is the only way to teach him a lesson. King Priyadarshan got the answer he was looking for. Turns out, the landlord and the thief were king's ministers who were arranged by the king to test the three Pandits. Now, the king's sons were the best warriors and very clever. But being princes, they had become snooty and arrogant over time. He wanted to teach them humility, gratitude, and a soundness to make the right decisions. Devdas exhibited his gratitude in the forest by being thankful for whatever little food he received, and humility by thanking a man beneath his stature. He also impressed King Priyadarshan by teaching his son that a king should always give a balanced judgment that is right for the individual and the kingdom. Eventually, Guru Devdas was declared by King Priyadarshan as the royal guru of the palace.